Foundation.
I'm wondering if Peyton Manning is sorry he resigned here. I'm wondering if he had the chance to do it all again, if he wouldn't go somewhere else, maybe a Houston.
No, Les, no. He wants to pack up his young family. They're in school. He wants to pack up his wife, Ashley. He wants to go have to buy another mansion. He wants to move to Houston. He wants to finish his career here. Whether there's pressure applied because he doesn't have the year that he's had in the past to get him not to return from John Elway and Gary Kubiak, he's not going to finish his career in Houston or Dallas or Philadelphia or anywhere else. He's going to finish it here, and then he's going to move on. Because one of the things I've thought about in the last 3 days is whether this is right or wrong, and I don't think it's wrong. He never got this kind of grief when he was in Indianapolis for two reasons. One, they're not very tough on a guy that's going to be a Hall of Famer. We're a lot tougher on our athletes, including John Elway or Dan Issel, who you talked about, or Joe Sakic at the end of his career, whoever it might be. People tend to think of, in the East, they tend to think we're soft on people. Denver's about as hard a place in the world, and I'm part of that reason. I probably was the first part of that reason because I came to town and was the first guy that actually criticized their hometown heroes. And Mark has picked up on that theme since he got here. And we're not really hard. We're honest. We're honest in our opinions. And you say we're talking about like fans. No, we're not. We're talking like objective columnists. That's what we are. So he's not going to go somewhere else. I just don't think he's accustomed to this criticism both locally and nationally. Is he regretting his decision? No, he's had a good run here. They've been very close on 3 occasions. They're going to be very close on 4 occasions. He could have gone to Houston and he'd be out of the league by now because they had a lot of injury problems and a lot of issues there, and they had Gary Kubiak there who fell out on the sidelines. I mean, they went through a lot of issues there. So, where else? Did he want to go to Tennessee and play with that lousy team or San Francisco with all the problems they have?
I threw the question out. I don't believe that, but I threw the question out there.
Well, and I'm answering it. Yeah. So
I believe this is the best place for him for a lot of those reasons.
Does he regret it? No.
And because he has the best chance to win and win big here. Look, he wants to be with a winning franchise. He wants to be with a team where he can get another Super Bowl ring. And there are very few out there that where the quarterback is the missing piece. The teams that are Super Bowl contenders have good quarterbacks in place already. And I threw out Houston because that's a pretty good defense. What they're lacking is a quarterback. I don't know if there's any other franchise he would even
have considered going to. They gave up 26 points to a guy you hate, Alex Smith.
If the Broncos are an all-time good defense, and they could be an all-time good defense, Peyton Manning can win a Super Bowl with this team this year. I do, to your question, think that there is some friction and some difficult adjustment period for Peyton Manning and Gary Kubiak figuring out how much of the offense do the Broncos need to run that's suited to Peyton, and how much of the offense can they run the way Gary Kubiak would run it if it was somebody else.
That's the primary reason he's so cranky right now. Things aren't working well for him.
He's uncomfortable.
Right.
I have a solution, and everybody in town is spending so much time thinking about this. The solution is when they run, get under center. When they pass, don't get under center.
Yeah, but aren't you giving away the play then?
Sure, but if you're better than them, it doesn't matter. Seattle Seahawks said a couple of years ago they knew all the plays. Roethlisberger said, I think New England, they tend to know what's coming. But he can stand under center, and if they are a good zone blocking team, like they were in the fourth quarter when Baltimore was tired, they were tired because they were playing at altitude. You get under center and you hand off the ball. That was the norm under John Elway. He was under center when they ran the football with Terrell Davis. He moved to shotgun when it was 3rd and 7. Why do people in this town forget? If you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it. I've been studying the history of the Broncos. Everybody knew what was coming. Oh, he's under center. He's going to hand off the ball to Terrell Davis. What did Terrell Davis rush for? 2,000 yards with everybody know what was coming. So it's the offensive line that's got to get with the gear. It's not Peyton Manning, but while the offensive line is not in gear, put him in the shotgun where he can get rid of the ball in a hurry and people are not going to sack him.
And you can still run out of the pistol and you can still run out of the shotgun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They need to be under center more often. And
they need to be under center more often?
Yes, they do.
Mark, he doesn't play well under center. He's not able to do that. Not comfortably. You can tell. Can't you tell?
I can tell, and I know he's uncomfortable. And you know why he's uncomfortable under center? Because his legs aren't strong enough to be a consistent drop back passer.
But whatever the reason, if he's not comfortable with it and he's rushing the ball once he gets back to his drop, why would you put him under center more? I'd put him under center less.
Because this is Gary Kubiak's team. It's not Peyton Manning's team. And this team isn't going to the Super Bowl on the basis of Peyton Manning. They're going to the Super Bowl based on this defense and running Kubiak's offense.
How many Gary Kubiak head coach teams have gone to the Super Bowl as compared to John Elway quarterback teams?
And Peyton Manning teams.
Well,
Correct.
I meant Peyton Manning teams. I think Peyton Manning's gone to the Super Bowl 3 times. Is that right?
Correct.
Gary Kubiak, as head coach, hasn't gone to the Super Bowl yet.
Or a championship game.
At some point, you want it to be Gary. No.
My choice was Adam Gase.
Pardon me?
My choice was Adam Gase
for head coach?
Because Adam Gase would have run the same offense that Peyton Manning's comfortable with. If you're going to hire Gary Kubiak, let the coach run his system, or why did you hire the coach?
Well, they hired Gary Kubiak instead of Adam Gase because Adam Gase was going to run the system that he wanted to run, and John Elway didn't want that system anymore. That's why he got rid of all of those people. Basically, you can say that John Fox resigned or whatever. But the perfect scenario would be Adam Gase running the offense and Wade Phillips running the defense, if you want to know.
Well,
the
and
truth.
Also, guys, a great coach in any sport adapts his scheme to the players he has on the field.
Absolutely. That was the problem with Lefty.
Gary needs to adapt to Peyton.
That was the problem with Lefty Driesell. He could recruit great players, but then he coached them under his system, which wasn't any good in Maryland.